So, when you,
This is me with Derek.
this is you with me. Yes, this is me with you as well.
I've been waiting to meet Derek. This
Yes.
Is yeah.
Well, you know what? If you pay your dollar ahead of time, you get
I
to
did.
stand in
I
line.
got. I jumped the line to get
Pictures
up
are
ahead.
extra. Yeah.
By the way, I'm Randy Rogel.
Yes.
And I write. I wrote most of the songs for Animaniacs, and that's
Right.
why I'm here for the Animaniacs live show.
When you write a song like that, how do you make something that is fun and entertaining, but also still something that kind of crosses a lot of age groups? Because it's not just kids. I mean, adults like this stuff too, and they remember. I mean, as you can tell now, not just nostalgia, but there are a lot of crossover.
Yeah, that's a good question, Derek. Normally, when I would be writing a song, it was sort of like, remember when you used to when I was a kid, Rocky and Bullwinkle. You'd be watching it, and it was working on one level, but what you didn't realize, it was very hip on another level. So we tried to sort of follow that idea. But it's just, it's trying to write something good, write something clever, and the show really resonated with people. But we had very vibrant, terrific animation, unbelievable voice performances of Rob and Jess and Tress. Tremendous writers that we had. Peter Hastings did most of Pinky and the Brain, Sherry Stoner, Paul Rugg, John McCann. We had a really terrific group of writers. Tom Ruger was running the show. He's run many shows. And we had Steven Spielberg as our producer. So it was a kind of a, lightning in a bottle at that time. Because, we've all done dozens and dozens of shows since then. But Animaniacs keeps living on, right? Yeah.
When it comes to when you first started on Warner Brothers train, was there any direction given? Because Warner Brothers cartoons in the past, they had this composure, and the songs all have this certain kind of feel to them, a certain wackiness, but also a certain melody, kind of undertone to them. Was that something you tried to find when you first started?
I think that wouldn't have been me. That would have been Spielberg and Ruger. I was writing Batman, actually, which has a very dark feel to it.
Right.
And they were doing a show called Tiny Toons, which Steven Spielberg was a big fan of the old Looney Tunes, and so they wanted to recreate it with Warner Brothers, but for like them as kids, and it was a huge success. So they wanted to do another one, and they went to Animaniacs, and I think it was based a lot on a lot of ideas like the kind of the Marx Brothers craziness, and that I think would have been mostly Tom Ruger's vision, and. Then, as we all come in, I remember when Peter Hastings wrote the first Pinky and the Brain, the idea of two mice taking over the world. That Spielberg loved that, and so the show just grew out of the ideas that came. But you're right, Warner Brothers has its own distinctive style. I've worked for Disney too, and Disney would do a lot of the princesses or. The schoolyard. Warner Brothers became very much men in tights, we used to say,
right.
That. And then also that wacky Chuck Jones, Friz Freleng, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner kind of thing. And I think Animaniacs is more in that.
Is there anything fun you're composing right now that you're having a lot of fun with? Any certain cartoon or any?
Right now, me?
Yeah.
Well, I run a TV show called 1001 Nights, and so we have a guy who does the scoring. But I did just recently, maybe a year and a half ago, I wrote with John Powell a song for Rio 2. It was a film. Did very well, and we wrote it for Kristen Chenoweth. And then also, I'm writing shows for the Broadway stage, too, working on that. So that's my hit with music. But this has been a real delight because I just show up and I sit with an orchestra and we perform 2 hours of these songs that were already written and that I already know. So that's pretty delightful for me.
Are you still surprised by some of these songs, too, when you come back and, when you do them live to go, this was really good. Like, this is really good. I did a good job.
Well, you try not to pat yourself on the back, but I just, when you come back to revisit this, you go, oh, wow, I wrote this. This feels pretty good. One of the other things that we're doing is because we have a live audience now. There were times during that 5-6 year run of Animaniacs where I wrote a lot of songs. Not all of them got produced, made it in because we just didn't have time or for whatever reason. And there were other times where I would write a song and maybe I'd had a certain lyric and I'd get a call from Business Affairs saying, you're not doing that lyric. So now when we do it live, I say, you want to hear the original lyric? Or I say, you want to hear a song that got killed we never got to do? So the audience gets to experience more than just a nostalgia of anime. They get to hear the stuff that nobody ever got to hear. And it's pretty fun. And I think it's pretty fun stuff.
Fantastic. Well, so we look forward to it. I'm sure the fans will be looking forward to it for years to come, too. So Animaniacs Live, and hopefully Animaniacs Live in 20 years from now, too.
Yeah, Animaniacs Live will be be playing exclusively. We're doing it with symphonic orchestras around the country. We are booked already at if you're here on the West Coast or in Southern California, we're booked at La Mirada with their symphony orchestra on April 15th. But our promoters and our agents are now blasting out and going out to all the orchestras, and we'll have the animaniacslive.com website where you can go and find out where we're going to be next. You can tweet and call your orchestra, say, bring them to us. But we're off and running, and it is one terrific show. I'm very proud of it.